Welcome to this new series that I'm starting called the NFSB Ganyagahaga podcast. I guess. I don't know. It doesn't have a title yet. But anyways, first video. I decided that I wanted to just make some short videos that people can have access to, just with like little pieces of information that I think are relevant for teaching students from the community of Kahnawake. And if this goes over well, then I'll extend it beyond into like pan-Indigenous content, because I know we do have students who are not just from Kahnawake. So today I decided to start the first one with which I'm calling "What is in a Name?" So in this version, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about like sounding out Ganyageha names. When we have students who come from Kahnawake, often well, it's kind of commonplace that everybody has a Ganyageha name, but some students don't have English names. And so when you're not familiar with the sounds, it can feel like a real challenge to try to pronounce these words. So we're going to review the sound chart really fast. This is just the very basic alphabet. Later on, I can get into some more sounds in another video, but for now, I just want to introduce you to the very basic sound chart, and then we're going to pronounce two very simple names. Okay. So, I imagine that I would edit this so that the sound chart will be on the screen. Okay. So the letters that we have, the consonants are H, K, N, R, S, T, and W. Those are all of the consonants that you're going to see in the language. Our vowels are very similar to English, except we're missing U's. We don't use U's or Y's. If you meet people from another community like Tyendinaga, they use Y's in their writing for Ganyageha. And if you meet people from different communities, there's like variations in how they pronounce things. So this is very much a Kahnawake way of pronouncing things, okay? And our vowels are A, E, I, O, E, N, and O, N. Okay, so if we read through the sound chart, we'll start with the H. Ha, he, ho, ha, hum. If we use K, okay, K's are pronounced as G's. So ga, ge, gi, go, ga, gung. N's, just normal. Na, ne, ni, no, na, nu. R's. Now I know in English we would say ra, and in French we might say ra at the back of the throat. But when you're speaking Ganyageha, you're using like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like it's with your tongue more when you're pronouncing the R's. It can be hard to get around. One thing I always suggest is just pronounce an R how you would, and don't worry so much about trying to get it exact. As you practice more, it gets better. So we have ra, re, ri, ro, ra, rum. Okay, S, another one. People are like, oh my God, it doesn't sound like an S. This is more of like a Z sound. Okay, so we have za, ze, zi, zo, za, and zoom. Another one. Ganyageha was not made to be an easy language, I promise you. Okay, so the T's are pronounced like D's. So in this, we would go through da, de, di, do, da, dum. Okay. And then the last letter is W. So we have wa, we, we, and wa. It leaves out the O and the because there's no words that actually use W in that context. Okay. So the first name that I'm going to give you guys, okay, is very easy. 3 syllables. I always suggest you break it up into 3 syllables, or as many syllables as there are. Okay. So the first name that I found, Rohahes. Okay, very simple. Only 3 syllables. If we break it up, ro, ha, hes. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Ro, ha, hes. Rohahes. It's a very simple name. Okay, another one, and I say simple because it's short, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy to pronounce. Okay, another name that we have is Yawandaze. Okay, so ya, wa, da, ze. 4 syllables in this one. Ya, wa, da, ze. Yawandaze. Now you can hear that there's certain parts where I emphasize things, right? Yawandaze or rohahes. And those are using the up stresses, and there's also the glottal stop, which is the colon. But I'm going to get into those at a different point, because what I really want you guys to pay attention to is breaking up the name into syllables and then just doing it one at a time using the sounds that we learned in the original sound chart. Okay? Try your best. Sometimes, though, there are different sounds that come together. I know. And I'm working on trying to get those other sound charts so we can practice. Okay? But in the meantime, you have your work cut out for you. You should be practicing those sound charts just with the basic alphabet. Anyways, signing off. Nyaugoa for being part of this little moment of podcast. I hope that it helps. I'm going to come back at you with some new episodes of other things. Onagiwahi.